So you guys have come here today because I know you have some sort of an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And what we want to start with is have each of you, without interruption, get a chance to speak your mind and say what your issues are, and then we'll go from there. So, Jean, you want to start? So, can we say that a common goal is to find a way for you both to live in the apartment? I'm just going to write that up on the board. You both want to live in the apartment and keep your financial interests in check.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound good to both of you?
Yeah.
You're kind of talking about two separate issues there. You're talking about the cleanliness of the house, and you're also talking about the rent. So if we just focus on the rent for right now, and expenses in general and financial burden. So if we ignore right now for the fact that you're saying that Chris is the one that's making the mess, do you see that, what do you think of some specifics that Lee can help out with that are maybe if she can't pay rent, what else she could do to possibly alleviate a little bit of the financial burden for Chris that she's seeing? Okay, well, let's just take a step back and say if you could put yourself in the other person's shoes. If you had a boyfriend over and it was the opposite situation, how would you expect Jean to respond if you had a boyfriend over? Okay, and Jean, if you were in the opposite situation and you were trying to study a lot and Chris had her boyfriend over all the time, what would you say? If this is a solution that, can get the money back for the rent that Chris owes you for the past 2 months, and a solution that will allow you to feel that Lee has contributed in some, can we both agree to it?
I didn't have access to internet earlier, so that's why I couldn't see your email. But when would you be available to speak, or would you be available to speak another time later this week? Okay. I'll be free I'll be free. I don't know, what's your availability? It's probably better to do it that way. Well, I could do 10 to 10:30 tomorrow. It really will only take about 15 minutes, so it won't be half an hour call. But we can block it for half an hour just in case. I can do 10 a.m. Okay, great. Okay, questions? Okay, so far I know that there's no official contract, but I will be in London. So what about compensation? Okay, that will be discussed later. Okay. And what about the only other question I had as of right now, because everything's so high level, is about housing. Right, in terms of, does EY help me find housing, or is it more that EY leaves me to my own? Yeah, I mean, the only two questions I could really think of right now were about compensation and the housing, and you just answered as much as you could. So I guess when we get more into the contract negotiations, I'll get more information. But as of right now, that's all I have.